Hello and welcome back everyone to the Max Jancar Show. In this episode, I will explain why be yourself is actually terrible advice, despite being recommended time and time again in our industry, specifically when it comes around getting an ex back. So this is probably something that really pissed me off when I first heard about it. Like, what does it even mean? It's like someone threw me a Lego set, burned the instructions, and then just said, go and fucking assemble it. You got this, it's fine, you will make it. Look, ask any average Joe for ex-back advice, this is usually what they are gonna say. Just be yourself and everything is gonna be fine, your ex is gonna be reattracted to you in no time, your date is gonna go totally okay. Well, okay, here's a thought experiment for you. Well, what if being myself, what if I inherently am awkward, uninteresting, and let's say socially inept? What if I'm rude, prejudiced, entitled, or narcissistic? What if I'm an emotional wreck who has no boundaries, no sense of self, and rely on my ex as my literally only source of meaning and happiness? What about then? Should I also be myself? Just be myself then? Problem solved? I don't think so. I think it's a stupid dumb fuck idea. Look, years ago, I wanted to fucking end myself in Minecraft because my ex didn't like me back. I was insecure, I was emotionally broken, I had no life, no goals, no ambitions, I had no personality, no character, I didn't even think about my future. If I would, at that time, just keep saying to myself, just be yourself, I would probably end up killing myself or something, man. I would be fucking miserable. Look, the truth is, being yourself not only prevents you from having the kind of a love life you want, it also demotivates you to reach beyond your comfort zone and evolve into this better, more attractive and resilient person. It is the kind of advice that keeps you stuck. Plus, being who you are is totally contextual. Like, you're not the same person when you're traveling to Hawaii or when you're commuting to work. You're not the same person when you talk to your ex and when you talk to your best friend. You're not the same person when you're inundated with this crippling fear of loss or when you feel no fear whatsoever. For these reasons, I would argue that being yourself doesn't really mean jack shit, even if it feels like it, sometimes. It's just one of those empty phrases like, I need to find myself again, or I need to rediscover myself. And on top of that, being yourself isn't even possible, in my opinion. I think it's an unreachable destination that's always moving away from you as soon as you try to grab it, I guess. And this is because we, as humans, we ain't static. We are in a state of constant flux. We are constantly evolving, sometimes in good ways, other times in bad ways, even if we're not really aware of it. And let me be honest, the sole reason you broke up in the first place very well could be because you're trying to be yourself. For instance, if you were needy, controlling, obsessive, and continued to be yourself, you never learned how to manage those emotional blemishes, let's call them. Hence, they probably contributed to your breakup as they contribute to destroying your chances now that you're working towards mending your relationship. So, be yourself. When people tell you that you should be yourself, even though the advice is shit, don't take it personally, don't take it the wrong way even. For most people give this advice out of very well-intentioned reasons. And while it inherently is not helpful, there is a way we can make it helpful. So whenever someone, a friend, a family member, your dog, tells you to just, be yourself, I want you to do a mental translation of the phrase into be more resilient, relaxed, and confident, or simply be better. You see, when people tell you to be yourself, they're not saying to accept the habits and quirks that hold you back from becoming the attractive person you can be. Like, if you're a sucker for validation, if you're needy, if you're emotionally erratic and codependent, that's actually not you. If you have this really shitty disposition, this really negative disposition, and a bitter outlook on the world, that's not you. If you're overweight, unattractive, or simply feel like an unworthy sack of shit, that's not really you. So when someone tells you be yourself, they're not telling you to act as though all of these things that I mentioned are, let's say, true. What they're actually telling you is, hey, dude, gal, whatever, develop a strong identity and assert the everlasting fuck out of it. Decide specifically who you want to be, independent of your ex, embody that identity, step into it, and lead your life based on it. Find happiness and approval within, and don't make your ex or just about anyone responsible for it. Now, let's actually turn the page. Let's go and talk about, okay, Max, how do I actually now implement, right, this concept? Give me some practical advice now that we got the theory down. Well, here's an exercise for you. Imagine what your ideal version would be. The behavior, the looks, the vibe, the goals, and so on. Write it down somewhere and then try to marshal yourself into that new identity. So ask yourself, what does my ideal version of myself look like? They are probably in shape, they have a good sense of style, they probably have a life and don't base all of their, or at least the majority of their happiness around an ex. They probably are relaxed and confident. They are probably somewhat ambitious. They probably take good care of themselves, so mentally, emotionally, and physically. They are probably comfortable with sharing what they think and feel. They probably have a decent character, so a set of mental and moral qualities distinctive to them that they don't really feel they don't really feel afraid of sharing or defending or even vindicating. They probably also live in the moment and are unworried whether or not their ex texted them back. Hell, they probably don't even want their ex back, since they know they can do so much fucking better. They know that their ex ain't special, that every relationship is replaceable, and that they really shouldn't obsess about them so much. Like, these are universally attractive traits and behaviors and qualities that you exhibit when you are comfortable, when you are confident. But this is only half of what it means to be the person you want to be. The other half, dear viewers, listeners, dear audience, is your half. It's the half where you and I will drastically differ. And it's going to gain you, and basically this half, it's gonna gain you a lot of love and lose you a lot of it as well. But you have to do it. You have to work on molding it, even if that means throwing away any chances of getting back with your ex. And you have to do it on your own, or else you will be emotionally and spiritually kind of dead. And like me years ago, maybe you end up with a death wish, maybe you become miserable in the process, who knows? The point is, foster all the attractive traits that I've listed, become your best version of yourself. But then the other part of the coin is, you just can't look at just these generic attractiveness traits. It's more about picking what you value. It's more about choosing the metrics by which you live your life. It goes way deeper than just self-care and self-improvement. This second part of being yourself, or being the person you want to be, to put it in a better way, really is about a more spiritual, dare to say philosophical search for personal values, beliefs, worldviews, goals, ambitions, and so on. So that's something I'll leave up to you. With that being said, hope this episode was helpful. Hope you learned something new from it. If you want to buy my courses, maxjancar.com courses, maxjancar.com coaching. If you want to book a one-on-one session with me, buy my books, maxjancar.com books as well. And that's pretty much all from my side. Have a lovely day. Good luck with getting your eggs back, and take care.